Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Irrigation and Drainage Engineering. Definition of terms. Part 1. Absolute humidity or vapor density is the mass of water vapor per unit volume of air. Absolute pressure is the measure of pressure above zero. Acequa, an irrigation ditch or canal. Acid mine drainage, water draining from areas that have been mined for coal or other mineral ores. Acid rain, precipitation that has a low pH less than 5.6, which is normal for natural precipitation. Acid rock, an igneous rock that contains more than 60% silica and free quartz. Adapter, a coupler fabricated for attachment of hose, threaded pipe, or other devices to irrigation pipe, or for connecting irrigation pipes of different sizes. Adjustable orifice, a metering device used on gravity flow granular applicators that regulates flow rate. Advance time, time required for a given stream of irrigation water to move from the upper end to the lower end of a field. Agricultural climatology, in general, climatology as applied to the effect of climate on crops. Agricultural irrigation, water distribution systems and practices in agriculture. Alternate set irrigation, a method of managing irrigation whereby, at every other irrigation, alternate furrows are irrigated, or sprinklers are placed midway between their locations during the previous irrigation. Alternate side irrigation, the practice of furrow irrigating one side of a crop row for row crops or orchards, and then, at about half the irrigation time irrigating the other side. Application efficiency, the ratio of the average depth of irrigation water infiltrated and stored in the root zone to the average depth of irrigation water applied. Expressed as a percent. Arithmetic mean, this involves the averaging arithmetically all the rain amounts measured by the Fein gauges within the area. Border dike, earth ridge or small levee built to guide or to hold irrigation or recharge water in a field. Border ditch, small excavation used as a border of an irrigated strip or plot with water being spread from one or both sides. Border irrigation, irrigation by flooding strips of land. Rectangular in shape and cross-leveled. Bordered by dikes. Brush dam, a dam constructed of brush. In gullies are small channels to retard flow of water and sediment. Brush drain, covered field drain consisting of a trench, the lower part of each section being filled with brush to form the drainage channel. Bubbler gauge, records the pressure required to maintain a small flow of gas from an orifice submerged in the stream. Bubbler irrigation, the application of water to the soil surface as a small stream or fountain, where the discharge rates for point source bubbler emitters are greater than for drip or subsurface emitters but generally less than 225 liter per hour, 60 gallons per hour. Buffer strip, a strip of grass or other close-growing perennial vegetation, usually grass, that separates a watercourse from an intensive land use area to prevent sediment entry to drainage channels. Bullet, round-nosed cylindrical point of a mole drain plow which forms a cavity as the plow is drawn through the soil. Bypass ditch, a waterway for carrying water from a drainage area directly to a gravity outlet. Bypassing any pumping plants. Cabalgation, a method of surface irrigation that uses gated pipe to both transmit and distribute water to furrows or border strips. Catch basin, basin designed to catch or trap water and sediment. Catchment area or basin, a surface from which runoff is collected, watershed, drainage basin. Center pivot system, a method of agricultural irrigation consisting of a single sprinkler lateral with one end anchored to a fixed pivot structure and the other end continuously moving around the pivot while applying water. Channel capacity, flow rate in a ditch. Canal or natural channel when flowing full or at design flow. Channel improvement, increasing the cross section, straightening or clearing vegetation from a channel to change its hydraulic characteristics. Increase its flow capacity, and reduce flooding. Channel stabilization, erosion prevention and stabilization of a channel by use of vegetation, jetties, drops, revetments, or other measures. Channel storage. 1. Hydrology, water temporarily stored in channels while en route to an outlet. 2. Drainage, the volume of water that can be stored above the start pumping level in ditches or floodways without flooding cropland. Channel type terrace. Terrace which is constructed by moving soil for the embankment from the uphill side only. Civil law drainage law, a drainage law stating that the owners of higher land are entitled to the natural advantage that the elevation of their land gives them and owners of lower lying land must receive surface water flowing to them through natural channels. Coastal erosion, is an erosion caused by wave action on the seashore. Communal irrigation system, CIS. It is an irrigation system that is managed by a bona fide irrigators association. Consumptive use is defined as the sum of the volumes of water used by the vegetation growth of a given area for transpiration and building of plant tissues plus that evaporated from the adjacent ground or intercepted precipitation on the area in any specified time divided by the given area. Consumptive use efficiency. It is the ratio of the normal consumptive use of water to the net amount of water depleted from the root zone soil. Continuous flow irrigation. System of irrigation water delivery where each irrigator receives allotted quantity of water continuously. Continuous flow system, BTHE continuous use. By an industry. Of deionized water to remove contaminants from products and equipment. Continuously anaerobic. Very poorly drained. A horizon that is saturated with water throughout the year. It is blue, olive or gray. Continuous wall foundation. It may be used either as a basement walls or as curtain walls. Contour cultivation. Consists of carrying out agricultural operations very nearly on the contour. It reduces the velocity of overland flow and retards soil erosion. Controlled drainage. Regulation of the water table by means of pumps. Control dams. Or check drains. Or a combination of these. For maintaining the water table at a depth favorable to crop growth. Conveyance loss. Loss of water from a channel or pipe during transport. Including losses due to seepage, leakage, evaporation, and transpiration by plants growing in or near the channel. Conveyance structures. They are used to transport irrigation water from the source to the farm ditches. Correction strip. The irregular width strips of land lying between uniform width strips in strip cropping systems. Corrugation. A small, shallow furrow, an irrigation method. Corrugation irrigation. A method of surface irrigation similar to furrow irrigation, in which small channels, called corrugations, are used to guide water across a field. Crop irrigation requirement. Quantity of water, exclusive of effective precipitation, that is needed for crop production. Crop water requirement. It is the sum of evapotranspiration and percolation losses. Cross sprinkler. Pipe fitting with 4 outlets or connections each 90 degrees apart. Curve number. An index of the runoff potential which is related to the soil and vegetation conditions of the site. Cutback irrigation. The reduction of the furrow or border inflow stream after water has advanced partially or completely through the field in order to reduce runoff. Cutthroat flume. It serves the same function as a partial flume but it is simpler in design and has lesser construction cost. Deep percolation. Water that moves downward through the soil profile below the root zone and cannot be used by plants. Deep percolation percentage. The ratio of the average depth of irrigation water infiltrated and drained out of the root zone to the average depth of irrigation water applied. Expressed as a percentage. Delivery box. Structure diverting water from a canal to a farm unit often including measuring devices. Delivery loss. Preferred term is conveyance loss. Demand irrigation system. Irrigation water delivery procedure where each irrigator may request irrigation water in the amount needed and at the time desired. Design area. The specific land area in which pipelines are planned and located to serve as an integral parts of an irrigation water distribution or conveyance system. Designed to facilitate conservation, use and management of water and soil resources, and which the supplier or designer and purchaser mutually understand to be irrigated. Design emission uniformity. An estimate of the uniformity of a emitter discharge rates throughout the system. Design working head. The vertical distance that water will rise in a vent or stand above the center line of the pipeline at design flow at any point in the system. Diameter of coverage. Average diameter of the area wetted by an irrigation sprinkler operating in still air. Direct runoff. Is the surface runoff plus interflow. Discharge. The volume of water pumped per unit time. The area where conveyed material is discharged from the machine. Discharge bay. Enlarged channel section for collecting the discharge of a pumping plant. Discharge coefficient. Ratio of observed flow to theoretical flow. Discharge curve. A rating curve showing the relation between stage and flow rate of a stream. Channel or conduit. Displacement meter. A meter that measures the quantity of flow by recording the number of times a container of known volume is filled and emptied. Used primarily for low flow measurement. Disposal field. Subsurface soil space for seepage, evaporation of digested sewage effluent. Distributary. 1. A small conduit or channel taking water from a canal for delivery to farms. 2. Any system of secondary conduits. 3. River channel flowing away from the main stream and not rejoining it. Is contrasted to a tributary. Distribution system. It is a system of ditches, or conduits and their controls, which conveys water from the supply canal to the farm points of delivery. Distribution uniformity. It is the measure of the uniformity of irrigation water distribution over a field. Distribution uniformity of low quarter. It is the ratio of the average of the lowest 1/4 measurements of irrigation water infiltrated to the average depth of irrigation water infiltrated. Expressed as a percent. Ditch rider. Manages water for an irrigation district. This person is responsible for delivering water through ditches to farmers for irrigation. Drip irrigation. A method of microirrigation wherein water is applied to the soil surface as drops or small streams through emitters. Drip and trickle irrigation. The application of water to the soil surface as drops or tiny streams through emitters. Drip irrigation. A method of micro-irrigation wherein water is applied to soil surface as drops or small streams through emitters. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.